Good morning or afternoon, everyone. My name is Jeremy Walsh, and I'm the Director of Support, Training, and Documentation for BNI Connect. I would like to welcome everybody to the webinar today. Today's webinar is on the chapter web pages. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be kind of reviewing the structure of the web pages, taking a look at what they look like, what you can do to update them, what's allowed, what's not allowed, how to go in and do things like add pictures to your website, where that all happens in BNI Connect, what gets pulled up automatically, all of that wonderful stuff. One of the great things about BNI Connect is that every single chapter that is part of BNI Connect, which is every chapter in the world, has their very own BNI Connect website that they can customize. They don't have to, but they can. These are the recommended websites. We are discouraging people from having separate websites outside of BNI Connect. One of the reasons for this is that a lot of times the good part about the BNI Connect websites is that they're automatically updated. So as code changes are made, as new members are added, as members are dropped from the chapter, all of that information is automatically updated. Even if your chapter moves location, as soon as that is updated by your regional office, that'll be updated everywhere, including the regional website. Websites that are hosted separate and outside of the system tend to fall out of sync pretty quickly as soon as that first member leaves or comes back. And then you also have the problem of members maintaining multiple profiles and passwords and all sorts of things. So before we get started, just a couple of housekeeping things. The first of which is that this is a live webinar. So if you have any questions as we're going through the material today, please do absolutely feel free to ask those questions. The best way to ask questions is to type your question into the questions panel. As Dr. Meisner likes to say, the only silly question is the unasked question. So please do ask whatever questions you'd like, whether it's about the website functionality or anything else in BNI Connect. I'd be happy to answer unrelated questions towards the end of the session today. We're scheduled for approximately 30 minutes worth of time. I do try to be very respectful of people's schedules, so I'll try to make sure that we wrap up the content portion as close as we can to the bottom of the hour. That being said, if you do have some spare time and you do have more questions, I will absolutely stay on the line until every single question is answered. This is what I do all day, every day. I answer questions about BNI Connect, so I am here for you. We will be recording this webinar. We make it available in a couple of different places. The first place is to go to the support site. Now you get to the support site by clicking on the, oops, hit the wrong button there, by clicking on this question mark in the upper right-hand corner, right below regional website and options. That will bring you to the support site. You'll see our complete list of webinars with a link to say this webinar was recorded. You can click that link or go down to the chapter training and documentation, and you'll see all the webinars here chronologically by month. So you can click on, for example, June 2015, and here are all of the webinars that have been uploaded. You can also go directly to our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/BNI Connect Global, and you can review the webinars there as well. There's also a ton of other videos on the YouTube channel, such as educational moments and shorter single-purpose videos. All right, so let's get started with the chapter websites. Now, the chapter websites, if you haven't seen one before, they are located as part of the regional website. If you'd like to see what your chapter website currently looks like, the easiest way to do that is to go to your regional website. So either type your regional website in, again, every region has their own, or if you're logged into BNI Connect, you should have a button in the upper right-hand corner that says regional website. If you click that, that will bring you to your regional website. I happen to be a member here in the great state of BNI Rhode Island and Southeastern Mass. And here is our chapter website, or our regional website. To get to our chapter website, I can go and find my chapter. I happen to be in the Wakefield chapter of BNI. And from here, I can click on Visit Chapter Website. And when I do that, this is for the most part a default chapter website. We have done very little with our personal chapter website. All we've done is we've added our Facebook page to it, but everything else is as it appears, as it comes out of the box, so to speak. It does automatically pull up your thank you for closed business. We did about $4.5 million in the last 12 months. It also has all of your meeting and leadership team details over on the left-hand side. Down at the bottom, it will list your speaker rotation. There's a default graphic here. Then you can go to the chapter members, and it will list all of your chapter members. And of course, you can click on any of the members and you will get right to their profile. So everybody does have a profile that is listed on the regional websites. There's also a couple of additional pages. We have one that we've called the BNI news feed that pulls in the RSS feed from BNI for us. And there's also a regional news feed as well that we're not utilizing at the moment. So this is a default chapter website. Now, there have been some awesome things done on these chapter websites. Let me show you a couple of quick examples. So I'm just going to go to Google, and just to show you the power of BNI and search engine optimization, I'm going to do a search for the BNI Rugby chapter, R-U-G-B-Y, I can't spell today. But here we go, the BNI Rugby chapter. They are in Warwickshire in the UK. And if I click on their website, it brings me right to their chapter page here. And this is what they've done to their chapter site. And you can see here that they've changed their business description. I mean, this doesn't even look really like the same site. Let me compare those side by side. And here we have one site, and here on the left we have another. Oops, I seem to have lost the other one. Hold on a second. So you can see it has some common elements. But what they've done with theirs is they've made theirs a very, very long site with lots of pictures. They have a lot of graphics in it, a lot of links, a lot of videos, some quotes from various people, a video from Dr. Meisner. They have their thank you for closed business, another video. I mean, really tons and tons of stuff, as well as a map that has been embedded. They also, of course, have their chapter members. They put a nice graphic up at the top there to maintain consistency. They've set up their chapter gallery as well, so you can take a look through any of their photo galleries of 10-minute presenters, for example. And this is their news feed that they've been utilizing. So it's a great way to do a chapter weekly newsletter as well. Let me give you one more example. There's a Golden Ideas BNI in San Francisco, and this is their website. So you can see this is a little bit closer to my chapter's original website, but you can see some of the things they've done. They've highlighted their amount of closed business. They've made this into a 2-column website, but they do have their chapter map here. They get a little bit more descriptive with their chapter speakers. You can look at their chapter members, and one of the neat things that they've done, and this did require some very special coding on their part, but they broke their team into power teams, and you can select a power team and be able to see the people linked to that power team. Again, this is something they have done on their own, but it is stuff that is possible through the chapter websites. Now we're just going to go over the basics today, but I wanted to show you some of the things that people have done. Now, in order to actually edit the chapter websites, the place to do this is in BNI Connect. So it's not a whole separate server or system or anything. Everything is built into BNI Connect. So you log into BNI Connect, and if you are a chapter webmaster, you do need to be assigned the role of chapter webmaster by your regional office, by your director consultant or your executive director. And once you've been assigned the role, what you should see is the Tools menu. And the Tools menu has some special things under it. The most important of which is the website editor. So under Tools, you're going to go to CMS, and CMS stands for Content Management System, essentially like a WordPress, things like that. Those are CMS, Content Management Systems. And we're going to go to the chapter websites. Now, again, you may not see all of those things. It all depends on what your level of access is. But if I go to the chapter websites, what we're going to do is we're going to edit one of my websites up in my test region of Antarctica. And we have our list of all of my chapters in Antarctica. More than likely, when you go into this function, you'll only see the chapters that you have access to edit. So you may only see a list of one here, which is the one that you would be allowed to go in and customize. So I can click on the link here, and that will bring me to the website. And again, this is an out-of-the-box website with absolutely zero customizations. The speakers are actually pulled from the speaker location, the speaker rotation automatically. All the rest of this on the left-hand side, again, is pulled automatically from the system. If I would like to go in and edit this site, I would click on this options button. I'm going to click this edit icon here. What we're looking at is the structure of the BNI chapter website. And you'll see here that it's broken into different tabs along the top, and then there's content within. So the first tab is the Pages tab, and this shows you all of the different pages of the website. You have the home page, the chapter members page, these three subsections of the chapter members page, the gallery, and the news. Now you'll see with the gallery and the news, there's additional options on the right that are show and hide. So there are some pages that are hidden by default and some pages that are shown by default. At the bottom, you'll see two links. You'll see the preview URL and you'll see the live URL. The difference is that the live URL is what everybody sees when they're actually accessing the website. So if they either do a Google search for it, or if they are browsing the regional website and they come across your chapter and say visit chapter website, this is the site that everybody is looking at. The preview site is the site that you'll be working on when you're making changes. Then what happens is when you're ready to go after you've made all your changes and it looks good and you're sure about it, then you click the Publish button. Once you click the Publish button, it will overwrite the files for the live site, and now all of your changes will be visible to the rest of the world. So before we do that, let's take a look at a couple of other things here. The other tabs along the top. So the second tab here is the Library tab. Now the Library tab is the image library. If you notice on some of those other websites, they put some very nice pictures and graphics and videos and all that stuff. In order to get a picture to display on your regional or on your chapter website, you do have to first get it onto the BNI Connect servers or host it on some other server. But the easiest way is to, and the fastest way is to make sure that the picture is in the BNI Connect web server. And to do that, we put it into the library. So the first thing we'll do is if we want to get some pictures up on our website, I'm going to upload pictures into my library. I do that by clicking the Upload button. And from here, what I'm going to do is click on the magnifying glass. This is going to allow me to browse my own personal computer for whatever pictures I would like to upload. So maybe I'd like to upload a couple of items here, maybe the BNI visitor thing. I can upload up to 3 images at a time. And now these 3 images are up in my library and I will be able to use those on the website. If I'd like to delete something, I can put a checkbox in it and click delete. I'm going to leave those there for now. Notice that there's 2 sections as well for documents and Flash objects, if that's something that you would like to link to or upload on your site as well. The third and final tab along the top is the Site Information tab. There's a couple of important things on this particular tab. The most important thing here is the chapter folder name. So here you can see our domain name. This is our actual website URL. So if we tell people to go to our website, we would tell them to go to antarcticreferrals.com/shiver-region-bni-BR. The reason for that and the ridiculously long name is that it is something that's auto-generated. It automatically makes the chapter site to be the name of the region plus the name of the chapter with dashes where spaces would be. That's all well and good if you're just hyperlinking to it, but to try to tell people to go there, that's a bit of a mouthful. So one thing you can do is you can change your chapter folder name. So if I just wanted to be antarcticreferrals.com/BR, then I could take out all of that rest of that information. The rest of this stuff you really don't want to change, the name of the buttons and things like that. But you can add an analytics code. You do have to sign up for your own analytics code, your own, let's say, Google Analytics account or any other analytics system. If you've made any changes, be sure to click Update. Now you'll see my preview URL has changed, as well as my live URL. If I want to actually make that active and live, I do need to click the Publish button. And now anybody that goes to our website or anybody that wants to go to antarcticreferrals.com/BR instead of shiver-region-BR, they can get there that way. We have a question from Deanna Jean. It says, I've uploaded a document, however, it does not populate on our live chapter website. I see only our gallery. So when you're uploading a document that way into the library, you're putting the document in the library, but you still have to link to it on the website itself. So it doesn't create like a document repository that just is accessed. It puts it as an available document that you could hyperlink to on the site. I'm not sure if that makes sense or not, but I can show you that when we get into editing. So let's take a look at some of the other options here. So the other options are edit name, edit meta tags, and edit content. And again, for these special ones down here, show and hide. Edit name is pretty straightforward. You can change the name of the various pieces of content. You know, for example, you have the tabs along the top here, home, chapter members, and news. So if I wanted to, for example, I don't want it to be called chapter members. I want it to be called our referral team or something like that. I could change this to be our team, let's say. And now, if I was to go to this preview site, I'm going to refresh it here. It has changed from chapter members to our team. So you can change the names there. Now, meta tags are a bit of an art form. And to be completely honest, I'm not a search engine optimization person. I know about as much of the CMS stuff to make me dangerous. The person that I would talk to as far as meta tags go, though, is to talk to the search engine optimization person in your chapter. But really what you're doing here is you're putting in words and phrases that will get you found on Google. So that's really what the meta tags are, is when the web crawlers are going through and searching the websites and gathering information about the websites, these are the pieces of information that they're going to use to index you, which will help you to appear on various search results. So does that help a little bit, Deanna? Yeah, I know, kind of. It's again, if you want to, can you, if you'd like some more information about that, if you send us an email to support@bniconnect.com, we do have a couple of people on the team, Frank Ruiz and John Lyle. They are our web experts. So they know the front end, or the I should say the public facing side, the regional websites, the chapter websites, better than anybody else on the team. If you want to forward in that question, I will get that over to them and they should be able to answer. or as I said, do a one-to-one with the SEO person of your chapter. All right, so yeah, again, just shoot that email, support@bniconnect.com, and just ask the question, can I have more information on meta tags? Brett says, I don't suppose that changing the chapter folder name creates a clean URL for the website address. By clean URL, do you mean just a, for example, www.burchapter.com or something like that? Is that what you're referring to, Brett? So when you change the folder name, I mean, anything after that /, you have full control over. So it wouldn't have any parentheses, it wouldn't have any dashes. I mean, really, you can see what I did here. It's a clean folder name because I didn't put any dashes or anything in there. So that's really up to you. The preceding part of it, AntarcticReferrals.com, that is owned by the regional office, which means that it's going to be whatever it is. That being said, if your region has purchased your chapter name, or somebody in your chapter had previously tried to set up a chapter website, and let's say that I owned www.bniburchapter.com, I could take the DNS for that and point the A record to antarcticreferrals.com/burr, and that would allow that to have that name forward over there. So does that help, Brett? All right, so before we get into actually editing the content of the site, there are these two other things down here. The chapter news, what the chapter news is a special page on the website, and it's meant to be a news feed that the chapter can actually, depending on permissions in your region, but use it as kind of a chapter newsletter or as a bulletin board that people can edit without having to edit the actual website. It's actually done through Operations Chapter Manage News. So I'm not going to get into that today. But the gallery page is a special page as well. You do have to opt into that page, so you have to show it first and click Submit. And once it's shown, you'll notice that there's now a fourth tab up here. And this fourth tab allows you to create albums within the gallery tab. So I should now have, you'll see here, the gallery tab on the preview site. And what we can do is establish a picture gallery here. So you can add an album. So if you remember, one of the others did 10-minute presentations or something like that, but I can create fun times. And here you can actually, people have turned this into blog-like by adding long descriptions in. And then once you have an album, you can go ahead and add photos to that album. Within the album, unlike the library, photos do have to be uploaded one at a time because you have to give each one a title. But now I should be able to see my picture gallery, and I have my Fun Times chapter album here that has a wonderful picture of a giraffe in it. So that's how the picture gallery works. But let's talk about editing this page. Now to do that, we're going to go again back here, go back to the Pages tab, and this is where we can edit content. You'll notice there's a link for each one of those, so you can edit pieces of each of the pages. One thing to keep in mind is right now I'm going to click Edit Content. What you will notice is that it will open up in a new window. So you can see a whole new window has opened up here. If you click this button and nothing happens, it means you have a pop-up blocker enabled. So please turn off the pop-up blocker and you will be able to get to this page. Now you'll notice that the web editor, there is a section here that has a bunch of tools at the top. And really what we're editing is this central portion of the site. You notice that I can't edit anything on the left-hand side. I also can't edit anything down here in chapter speakers. All of that information is pulled automatically from the inside of BNI Connect. So it pulls the member information, it pulls the chapter information, it pulls the speaker rotation, all automatically. So we can only change the stuff that is in the main body of this particular page. Things that you can do, again, we saw those examples earlier, but I'm going to go through and explain some of the tools here. Most of them, if you have ever edited, I don't know, a Word document, then just about all of this stuff will be fairly familiar to you. You have our common things, like we can make things bold and italic and underline. You know, we can do strike through. If I wanted to, I could create some numbered lists or bulleted lists. I could increase and decrease the indentation. I could left justify things, center justify. I mean, these are all fairly common Word, Excel, pretty much any Office product or document management software. Change the font, change the style or the size. I can make this, 16-point font with backgrounds and colors and all sorts of things. So again, all that stuff is pretty basic, straightforward. There's this stuff up here at the top is a form builder. You will need some advanced coding in order to use those, but the ability is there. The information up here, these are all cut, copy, paste functionality, undo and redo, things like that. If you are an HTML programmer by trade, you are a web designer, you'll be happy to know that you can go into the source and do direct editing here. I will caution you that some people have attempted to take just raw code from other sites and from other editors and try to copy it and paste it. You may break the site if you do that. Not all of them are compatible with this particular editor, so do be careful when you are copying and pasting source code. Some special things. You had asked before about linking to documents and things like that. In order to do that, what you do is, let's say that I would like, for example, BNI to always link to the BNI website. What I can do is I can hyperlink this by clicking on the chain icon here, and I can make sure that whenever somebody clicked on that, they went to www.bni.com. Similarly, I could upload the pictures that I put in my library. So let's say I want to put the picture right here. I'm going to click the picture button. Oops. Now, when I get to the URL, what I do is I click on Browse Server. And this will take us to our images folder. And let's say I want this BNI visitor image. Now I can see it's going to be pretty large, so if I'd like to make that a little smaller, I can change the size of it. Let's say I want it to be about half as big. I click OK, and now I have the BNI visitor. And of course, I can link to this as well. Note that you can also right-click on it, and I can go to Image Properties. If I wanted somebody to, when they clicked that icon, for that to be a hyperlink to something else, I can do that as well. And this is where you would browse if you had uploaded some documents as well. You could link pictures or icons of pictures or icons of documents to the documents that are stored on the BNI Connect server. So I didn't have any uploaded, but if you do, that's how you would do it. You'd have to maybe say something like download the guide here, and then you would hyperlink the word here, browse server, and then under the file, I don't have any files up here, you would link to that document. So does that help, Deanna? So again, they don't show up automatically. You do have to create a link to them. All right, and I believe that there is a 5 megabyte limit on files. Now, a lot of people also ask, well, what about videos? Now, for videos, you can put videos up here as well. For example, like a YouTube video. To do that, you do need to get the source from, let's say, YouTube in order to do that. What you need is the iframe code. So what you would do is you would go to, let's say, youtube.com/BNI Connect Global. And let's say that I wanted this educational moment on inviting visitors. I would like this to appear on our chapter website. I would go to share and grab this embed code. Now for this, I do have to go into the source code. Here's a little trick that I use. If I'm going to do that, I mark off where I would like it to be by just putting some like X's or something like that. Then you can go to the source code, find the X's, and paste in whatever you copied. So the iframe code, I just overwrote the X's in the source code. And now we have this here. When you're ready, when everything looks the way you want it to look, save it. It'll bring you to the preview screen, and now we can see our gorgeous new website. So if I go to antarcticreferrals.com/Burr, oh, what happened? It's not there. Well, we didn't publish it yet. So you do have to make sure that you publish your page, and once I click publish, my preview site will override it. And if I refresh this, now we see our nice, gorgeous work that we've done. All right, we have I see we have a question. Let's see, Deanna says, can you please run it through again? So which part would you like me to run through again? The embedding a video? So right before we get to that though, I do know that we are at the bottom of the hour. Again, I am happy to stay on these calls as long as you guys have questions. But for those of you that do need to leave right away, I just want to make sure that I say thank you for being here with us. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you find this content helpful, please know that we do the entire series of webinars on a monthly basis, especially for new members and new webmasters and people that are joining us in BNI. All right, so Deanna said the source, you'd like to see the source again. Sure, not a problem. Let me close out of this. So what we would do is we'd go to the home page or any of the pages and click on Edit Content. And here under Edit Content, the button up here in the upper left-hand corner says Source. And this will bring you into the source code for the site, where you can go in and really directly edit any of the source code here. So if you are proficient in HTML, you can do that directly here. And again, this is where if you need to do something like an iframe code, if you want to embed a video, or let's say that you were going to embed the Facebook links and the Facebook tools and things like that, you would go to Facebook, you would get their code, and then you would paste it here into the source code. And that's how you get like your Facebook likes or something like that up onto the screen as well. Same thing, Google Map. If you had a Google Map of your chapter that you wanted to do, you would go to Google Maps, you'd grab their source code, and you would go and paste it in here. Do we have any other questions? Questions, I love questions. All right, so a good referral for me is if you found this information helpful, if you found, if you think that other people might need to learn some things about BNI Connect, a good referral for me is to please refer them to the support site, support.bniconnect.com, and show them the list of upcoming webinars. Our next webinar is going to be next Thursday, June 25th. We're going to be going through the goals program for leadership teams, followed on Friday by a 1-hour presentation, which is going to be the leadership team tools and reports. So I welcome you to let your chapters know about those. And again, that would be a great referral for me. Finally, if you could like us on Facebook, facebook.com/BNI Connect Global. Would greatly appreciate it if you would give us a like there. We do have another question from Deanna. Can we add or customize more buttons? So you, as far as the page goes, I mean, you can really put whatever you want on the page here, but you can't add any more pages to the site. So you can change the names of these and repurpose them and do different things with them, but you can't add any more buttons to the top. So sorry about that. All right, what other questions? I think that was the last one. All right, well, I would like to say thank you to everybody for being here with me today, and I look forward to seeing you on a future webinar. Happy connecting, everyone.